All right, guys, this is James Bishop again with SmartTrader. Wanted to do a quick audio check for everybody that joined us and visual check. I'm going to go ahead and click over to the next slide. It says, "Who is SmartTrader?" on your screen now. If everything's ready to go and you guys give me the okay, then we will get started. David, thank you. Mary, thank you. Mohammed, Rommel, Joseph, thank you. Michael, Gloria, and perfect. Now, guys, in the wings with me here today, I have my associate, Brian Cobb. He's going to be here helping me answer any questions if I don't see your question or I accidentally miss it. If I don't acknowledge your question, retype it in for me. I have 150 individuals or so right now in this presentation, so it may just have gotten bumped up by all the yeses. Dean, great to see you again. Sajil, great to see you as well. Linda, you as well. Abdullah, you as well. So first things first, let me introduce who is SmartTrader. SmartTrader is a company that was founded for one very, very simple reason, and that is to help people make better, faster, and smarter trading decisions. And we really are influencing those people utilizing the product and utilizing SmartTrader by helping you guys with speed, helping you have a platform that you can trust, helping you with all sorts of data, and I'm going to be showcasing and highlighting a little bit of that here today. Now, the other question is, who am I? Because I've worked with a lot of individuals here when I was with Market Traders Institute, and now as taking over with SmartTrader, I'm really excited for the opportunity to help you guys with your charting needs. Now, I'm a multi-asset class trader. I trade stocks, I trade options, I trade Forex, I trade cryptos. So there is no real change. Gloria, yes, I do. I don't age that much. It's funny. I still fit into my jacket I wore to my parents' wedding when I was 13. So I don't know if that says I was tall for a 13-year-old or short for an adult, but one of the two is true. I've been a mentor to thousands of traders all around the world. I've done all the MTI's products, and I've been really, really successful with my trading, and I want to share that success with others. Currently, I've gone back to university to pursue my MBA, and that is an undertaking that has been tough and difficult. My fiance kind of pushed me to do that. She is a PhD candidate soon, so perfect. So let's go ahead and let me ask you guys about who you are. Really and truly, there's only three types of people that fall into these presentations or show up to these presentations. There are those of you in here that are traders. You guys are trading in and out of the market daily, weekly, monthly sometimes, but you guys are actively trading in this market. If that is you, type in a T for traders right now, just so I can identify that group. Lisa, Genevieve, Michael, Zoltan, Ann, Dean, Lucas, perfect. Now, there are those of you guys in here that are investors. Now, investors differ from traders because they're looking at that buy and hold mentality. They are looking to buy a company, as Mr. Warren Buffett says. You know, he never said he traded or invested in a company. He looked to buy that company and wanted to own that company. Now, he gets to do it because he has a lot more money than what we do, but heck, he can still buy and own those companies just like we own shares of stocks. And you guys are maybe holding on to trades for a year, 6 months, something like that. How many investors do I have in here? Type in an I for investor if you identify as that. Binu, perfect. Jonathan, thank you. Jose, thank you. Jack, thank you. Jason, thank you. David, thank you. And lastly, we have those individuals in here that are considered what we call market enthusiasts. And market enthusiasts, maybe you have a 401k, you have an IRA, you keep, in the know about current market situations and stuff like that, but you're not actively trading or investing in anything. You kind of have a guy that does it for you. Type in M if you are just simply a market enthusiast. Perfect. Let's see, Camillus, this is live. This is a live presentation. This is I'm just sitting behind my computer. I don't have a webcam on here. Part investor, part paper trader. Okay, Chris is really looking to make that jump soon. Joe is definitely a market enthusiast. Gary's a trader. Chelsea, perfect. All right. So now that we know who you guys are and what kind of category, there's really three types of traders and investors, and that was my broadest category, which I thought we would get. The first type of trader is the new person, somebody brand new to trading, and you're wondering, how do I begin trading? How do I use charts? How do I do this to become successful? If that's you, type in new right now. If that's where you fit in, you say, you know what, I am new to this. I'm really looking to learn more, things like that. Perfect, guys. Thank you so much for helping me identify who I'm speaking to, because this really will shape the presentation. Then we have the confused trader, right? The confused trader is, you're not new, you've had some success, but you sometimes the market just gets away from you. You're like, how the heck did it go down? How did so-and-so make profit, but I can't? How did I make 1,000 pips this month and lose 1,000 pips the next month, right? You know, you sit at your computer and like, how the heck is this going on? Jalissa said that to me. That's awesome. Guys, you're already on it, typing in confused, and I'm going to help clarify some of that as well, all right? And lastly, we have our successful traders. You guys are the ones that have, you know, I did a presentation this weekend, and one of the guys in there had made 11,000 pips, and that's in the Forex market. Pips, 11,000 pips last month. That's huge, right? That is someone who's successful. But he knows, just like I'm going to share with all of you, that success, you are literally right around the corner for a string of losses, right? So you need to, how do you keep your success going, and how do you gain an edge on trading? And that's really and truly who we have in here today. So you guys, thank you so much for identifying who you are. I'm really going to speak to my confused and newer traders. My success traders, look, type in your questions and I will definitely answer those for you as we go. Here's kind of the agenda for today, right? We want to first talk about controlling emotions, multiple time frames, and how to use multiple time frames to see success, how to use multiple confirmations, and then we're going to jump into a live Q&A towards the end of this presentation, so you guys can just ask me whatever questions on your mind. If I didn't get to something, you guys can jump in and say, hey, how do you do X, Y, and Z? Feel free to do that as well as we get into it. Shiv, this is recorded. We'll have to do some editing and things like that, and it's by those students at the end of this presentation. I'm going to have people type in their phone number and stuff like that. Those will be the ones that will probably ask for the recordings as well. So let's jump into this, right? The first thing on the agenda is controlling emotions. And I want to talk to you about that because, you know, this is something that I faced in the past. This is something that everybody faces, right? And I'll tell you a story about when I first started trading. So I was really new to trading. I was up so much in this US dollar trade, right? The dollar index was like my first big like aha moment. I traded only dollar pairs. I was doing the dollar index. All of a sudden, I was in this trade and I was up 440 pips. But I said to myself, you know what? This thing's going to go up another 15 pips. I know it is. So this was when I was brand new to MTI. Chief was walking by. I was like, Chief, I'm up 440 some pips. And he looked at the chart and he said, pull up the daily. And I pulled it up and he said, James, I'm telling you, take the profit. And I was like, Chief, man, it's going up 15 pips. I know it, right? And he said, look, if that's your limit, that's your limit. You know, if that's your plan, that's your plan. And I was sitting there, and a couple hours later, I come back and I look at my charts, and I'm like, okay, this is just a little bit of a pullback before it goes to my limit. And then it pulled back a little deeper, and then a little deeper, and then a little deeper, and then in one candlestick just fell like a rock. I mean, it literally fell all the way back to break even, and so I didn't lose much. I just closed out. But I watched 440 pips walk away from me, right? And it was all because I was too stubborn and I let my greed exceed my need. Mindset, right? That is just an iPad there, Dean. You can use any tablet you'd like. This is just an iPad Pro. It's the 10.9-inch one that you see there. This is my personal one too. Absolutely. But you know, there's two sayings that I want to give you guys about mindset. All right. The first saying is you'll never go broke taking a profit. Right? You will never go broke taking a profit. Kizito, this was only for the picture. That's all that is. Right? You will absolutely never go broke if you're taking profits. So you'll be able to, you know, in times where you feel or it's gut-wrenching for you to hold on to that trade, or you know, maybe you're trading micro lots and you're up $20, which is 200 pips, and you're like, well, it's going to keep going. You know, what you can do is literally just slide your stop up. Lock in 150 pips of that profit. The worst thing that happens to you is you make 150 pips, right? And if you keep that mindset of that you'll never go broke taking a profit, I promise you, it's one of those things that'll ultimately help you in the long run, right? Secondly, the second quote is actually from one of my favorite speakers. Now, he got it from an old proverb, but it says this. That's an old school one, Steve. That's awesome. It says, the old proverb, African proverb says, if there's no enemy within, the enemy outside can do me no harm, right? How many times do we self-sabotage? How many times do we hold on to a trade knowing it's going to go again, knowing it's staying against us, and you're just afraid to be wrong? Give me a me or why or yes if you've ever done that. Where like, you don't want to close out with this loss just because you're afraid to be wrong. You know, it's happened to me. It actually happened to me recently, right? Look, the last week of September, I won 100% of my trades, right? 100% of my trades in the last week of September. I didn't lose a single trade I placed. Then October 2nd or 3rd, I get into the market and I'm looking at it, and this is probably false confidence here, and I'm like, this is going up no matter what. And I'll show you the pair. And it fell. And perfect. The quote is, if there's no enemy within, the enemy outside can do me no harm. If there's no enemy within, the enemy outside can do me no harm. So I'll bring up the pair here in a second, but I knew for a fact this thing was just, it was about to rally, and then it fell more, and then it fell more, and then it fell more. Fortunately, I wasn't, you know, I wasn't too heavy into my lot size, so I just traded a second lot and a third lot, and then I let, you know, those two kind of make up some of that profit, and I was profitable on one and on two of the positions and losing on one, and I just closed it out for a $0, a dollar cost average my way out of it. But I still held losses. You know, I held losses with carryover. And do not be afraid to walk away from a bad trade, right? It's far too often in life we just settle. You know, whether it's something in your life's going wrong, you know, whether you're sick of your job and you just, you know, you wish you could quit, but you don't know what the alternative is. And, you know, the grass is always greener, but they don't tell you that the reason the grass is greener because it comes with more manure, right? And you're sitting there and you don't want to walk away. It's okay to walk away from a bad situation, all right? It's absolutely okay to walk away from a bad situation. So let's take one more look. All right, now we're going to get into multiple time frames and multiple confirmations. So if you guys are ready to go to the live charts, I want you to type in a me, a Y, or a yes here in this question box. Perfect. Let's get this thing going. All right, I'm going to slide over my charts. Everybody see that the charts just popped up onto your screen? Let me know. Okay, great. Just I can't see your computer, so that's why I asked for all these confirmations. What you guys are first seeing is this is my crypto charts. Now, I have my crypto charts set up with a template with a black background and white text and, you know, the green and red candles. The reason I do that is so they're totally different than my stock charts or my Forex charts. So here's some stock charts that I'm looking at. I don't know why that's on a 1 minute. Hold on a second. So this is Under Armour, Apple, the Diamonds, which is the Dow Jones Industrial Index. This is the ETF on that, and then Under Armour as well. Under Armour, I'm a big proponent of. I bought it here at $10.43. I sold half my position at 22, and then I got back in it down here at 16. I love this stock, and that's just personal opinion and why I'm looking at it. It meets all the same criteria that we're looking for. So one of the things I want you guys to look at is I created, you know, a new workspace that I have labeled stock. There's some neat things that you can do with workspaces. One of the things is in the settings, I can add a tab color to it if I want. And I can say all the pink tabs are always going to be stock charts, right? And then I can move those workspaces around and things like that. And I can save them, things like that. So we'll get more into that. But let's get over into some Forex charts. So I deleted that workspace on purpose because I wanted to walk you through how to open up a new one. So I'm going to click Add Workspace, and I'm going to hit New Workspace. I'm going to type this in as Forex. And I want you guys to give me a couple of ticker symbols. Currency pairs. Whatever you guys want to look at, we'll look at. So we got 1 Euro NZD. We'll do EUR NZD. And then we're going to click Add. We'll click Add. And now I'm going to add in some more charts. Now, I added one chart to this workspace. I'm going to click Manage Layouts, and I'm going to do 4 charts on this one. So Euro New Zealand. We'll also look at Pound CAD, GBP CAD. We'll look at US CAD, USD CAD. And then we'll take one last, we'll just do, let's see, Aussie Yen, AUD/JPY. Oh, I did promise you guys something. CHF, JPY. Let me show you this. Now I'm going to have all of these open on a daily chart. And I hit Save. Now, remember that chart I was telling you about that just went down, just went down, just went down, just went down? Take a look at that. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 straight days of bearish opportunity. So I think we'll see some pullback on this eventually, but you know, we'll look at the technical analysis in it to decide. So let's start with the Euro New Zealand dollar, and then let's do some technical analysis on it and talk about multiple time frames here to really justify our entries. Now, notice I have all 4 of these charts on different pairs. If I click on this chart and I click link, and then I change it over, it should, but it didn't. Maybe I didn't click the button. So eventually what it will do is it will refresh all of the charts into all Euro New Zealand's. But I'm going to do that myself. I'm going to have the daily on there. I'm going to have the, let's take a look at a 4-hour. Let's take a look at a 2-hour. EUR/NZD. And then lastly, let's take a look at a 15-minute. EUR/NZD. So the one concept that I need to drive home to everybody is that the larger time frame will control the smaller time frames. How the heck does that work? What do you mean by that, James? Well, that's a great question that you just asked there. So what I mean by that is this. I have my Trendline tool, and let's call the pink line the daily chart. And let's say that's an uptrend, right? We had our uptrend here. Well, within that uptrend, let's change it over to blue. We're going to have smaller waves on our 4-hour chart, right? So even though this may be in an uptrend here and pulling back on the 4-hour in blue, we know that that still is waving up eventually, right? Now, on a smaller time frame, let's call it my 15-minute, we're going to have even smaller waves where the 15-minute is rallying and falling within the waves of the larger, right? And that's how the different time frames work. If you know the daily is bullish, then what you don't need to do is look for selling opportunity on 15-minute charts. Does that make sense to everybody? Give me a wire yes if it does. Okay, great. All right, so now let's move on and let's go down to the chart here. The first thing I like to look at when I look at a chart is as much data as possible. And then I decide my levels of support and resistance. And I'm going to use a black line to show those. Well, I know down here that would be my level of support, and I know up here would be my level of resistance. But does that really matter right now? I mean, something like 4,000 pips away isn't what I'm really looking for. I'm looking for current relevant levels of support and resistance. So let's see, is the current market at a level of support? Well, kind of. You know, back here we had support, didn't we? We had resistance right there as well. And then over here, we had resistance. And then right in here, we had resistance. And then right here, we've had support. And now we're back at this level, right? Shiv, you are leading me right to the best path ever. We're going to get to that. Don't jump too far ahead of me here. So next, we want to see where else is support and resistance. Well, here's some. Support here, resistance here, support here, resistance here. So we just identified 2 key levels that are going on right here. And there is a third as well. Because at this high, there's your third level of support and resistance. So now what I want to do is let's reset and let's zoom in here. So we bounced from support, to resistance, broke through, hit the last, bounced off, hit it again, and of here again. Now that is horizontal support and resistance. There's another type as well, but let's just say that you didn't have the first clue about how to draw it. Well, within SmartTrader, and what really identifies us as a different tool, and what I what really identifies us as something that you need to have a partnership with is the smart tools, because we have smart resistance and we have smart support as well, showing you where the levels of support and resistance are. This was resistance 1 and resistance 2 was right there. We bounced off support and will probably come down and hit support 1 before we bounce up again to hit that resistance level. All right? These are key levels in your trading that you need to know about, and it's all done for you these days. That was something you will not find that on other charting software at all. Now, there is another type of support and resistance, and that's morally defined as a trend channel. We're going to use the same black lines, but take a look at this. When we're drawing our trend lines, right, we have a trend line that we can start from the bottom here, pull out all the way to the left, bring up until it touches something, and let go. So that's your outer trend. Then we have another inner trend line that goes out from there, brings up. That's your middle trend going on right now. And then from the next point at which it touches, up, we have an innermost trend. Now, let me ask you this. Is the market bouncing from this level? Let's adjust it here to make it perfect. Is the market bouncing from this level, bouncing along this trend line, and has hit it again, and is hopefully going to bounce back off of it, right? Isn't that just the definition of support? Then, to find resistance within a trend, now resistance is a little different as you're going to end up cutting through some candlesticks. You're going to find a point at which the market, let's delete that. We're going to focus in on this area of this movement now, right now. So you're going to find the point at which the market bounces off and comes in contact with a bullish trend in order to find support and resistance. This is what's known as a channel. This channel goes from support to resistance, to support to resistance, to support, back to resistance. Now you will see if we flip this to a monthly, and I'm going to clear the screen and flip this to a monthly chart, you will actually see on a monthly chart, it becomes even clearer with trend lines. You can see this uptrend line, then we can copy, click on this trend line, copy and paste it, grab it and move it, and look at our trend line here. We went from support to resistance to support, and now we're making our way back up to resistance, right? That's a simple way to look at trend channels as well. It's easy, it's clear, and it's very defined. So let's throw on our trend lines again here. So we'll draw, now let's say you didn't know how to draw your trend lines. All you have to do is we've done that for you. You click on Smart Trend Lines, you make sure you click at the bottom of the candle, and it's going to draw all your, there's your outermost, there's your inner trend line, and then here's your innermost trend line as well. That last one I didn't draw correctly, right? You can see that. So what do I have to do? I need to zoom in and get a little bit better of a picture. I click on my Smart Trend Line again. I click the candle and make sure, and that's my current trend line, right? That's where the market is currently. Dean says, once the lines are drawn, do they show on all time frames? That's a great question, Dean. What you can do is, if you do want it to show on all time frames, you right click, and you can only do this on the manual drawings. So I'm just going to redraw on top of this one just to show you here. So we right click on this and we put link all objects to all time frames. Now when I drop down to a smaller time frame, you will see there are all my trend lines. You see that there? So if I don't want them on there, I right click, I click link object, and I click all again. Oh, or I just delete them off of there. And then it should delete them off of every chart. If not, we right click, hit clear screen, and there we go. So I turned off the linking feature, then I deleted it all off there. So now we have our trend lines. Now what we're going to use is our current Fibonaccis. Now, Fibonaccis, you used to have to know that you have to start at a center wick low in a 5 candlestick sequence. So you needed 1, 2 candlesticks to the left and 1, 2 candlesticks to the right that were higher than the center wick low right here if you were going to start in an uptrend. And then what we would have to do is we would click on the magnet tool, then we would click on the MTI Fibonacci tool, and then we would click here, and then we would have to then drag it to our next high with a 2 to the left, 2 to the right high. And then you would say, okay, well, that was a 786 pullback, so I know it goes to the 1.27. So here's my lowest point. Now I need to find my next high. All right, 1, 2 to the left lower, 1, 2 to the right lower, so that's my next high. And as you can see, that became cumbersome. So what we did here at MTI, FX Magnet, you know it. That's where I got my nickname, guys. So Steve V has been with us a long time, and I used to leave that magnet tool on all the time, and it would mess up my trend lines, it would mess up support resistance, and I'd have to redo everything. So the best thing, the first invention they came up with was an undo button, and I think that was specifically made for me, because I was constantly messing up my charts simply because it was an old school antiquated way to do things. So we again added on smart Fibonaccis into this, and what we did here was we clicked, all you have to do is find your lowest low and click once, and it will draw all of your Fibonaccis in sequence for you. All of them. So here it is on our daily time frame. We have an uptrend line, right? We have an inner uptrend line. We do know that the market has not retraced down, but we see that, hey, the market has retraced less than a 382, rallied up. It'll probably retrace a little bit deeper here, probably somewhere to this outer trend line or a level of resistance right in here. And we'll see a bounce off of this to go to the D extension, right? But how do we do that on every time frame? Well, on the 4-hour, you simply do the exact same. You zoom out, you find your most recent low, and here's our recent low. You draw your smart fibs. There we have them. Again, 4-hour time frame. The market has not retraced down to a 382 or lower, or into this red zone or lower. And then we should expect it to go to the D extension. Now, let's take it in on our 2-hour time frame. Again, similarly, we start at the lowest point in our trend. We draw our smart fibs. We see, okay, the market rallied up, found natural resistance, pulled back to a 382, rallied up, retesting this low, and then we'll see another buying opportunity. And then again on our 15-minute, we'll see very similar as well. Well, how do I make an actual trading decision out of this? And how do I use these multiple time frames to tell me what the heck to do, right? Well, simply put, you use one of my favorite tools, which is a counter trend line break. It sounds so simple because it is, but it's the one tool that I will tell you helps me unify multiple time frames in order to make the best trading decision. Now, how do you do a counter trend line break? Well, first you take your trend line tool. Then you come down across the tops of these candles. I like to put mine in red. And I tell myself, self, you are not allowed to enter in this trade until it breaks this trend line. Because if it's going to go, let's say it's going to go from where we are to this D extension. Let's say it's going to make that rally up. Is it going to have to break through this red line to get up there? Yes or no? So why not put that in your way to say to yourself, that's my trigger. I'm not going to anticipate this market pulling up. I'm not going to anticipate this thing going to the D extension. I'm going to make it break a counter trend line before I enter. How simple is that? It's one of the simplest tools. Now look at it on the smaller time frame. Here's the 4 hour. Again, if we believe that the 4 hour is going to go up and rally up, we come down across the tops of these candles. We say to ourselves, self, do not enter unless it breaks that black line. We know that our entry is on, our exit is right there. That green line is our exit, right? We know this. We know that, but we need to wait for it to break through a trend line before it gets there. Now, there's one last thing that I want to show you. One last thing. This is probably one of the best tools that we created here at SmartTrader. Oops, look at that. I can undo my mistake with the touch of a button, and it doesn't even look like it looks like I meant to do it, didn't it? So let's say that you are looking to get in, not when it breaks this counter trend line, but if it retraced down lower, right? Let's say that you were on this time frame and you said, you know what? If it touches this line here, this red area, I want to get in buying. If it touches this red area, I want to get in buying. Well, because of what we've done here at SmartTrader, if you have, and I'm going to give everybody an opportunity to get access to what I'm showing you here today, but pay attention to this, okay? So what you do is you click on the settings button and you click on trading. Now, some of you, this may be grayed out and you don't have access to this, but I can select that I want to trade within 5% of that level, and I want to get out within 10 pips of my D, and I want to place my stop 10% below the A. All right? Now all I have to do is select, you know what, I want to trade the 382, and I want to enter one mini lot, so that's one mini lot, at that level, and I'm going to have my stop there and my limit there, and I'm going to hit OK. And then I'm going to do it the same for the 236, and then I'm going to do the same for the 50, and you know what, I want to select all the lines, so there it is. Now, it's going to let me select what account I want to put that in, if you want it under demo or your live account, and then I click Save. Now, there is all of my orders that are pending, all right? So it has an entry here, 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 and an entry here as well. And if I click on this and I click on pending orders, you can see here are all my Euro New Zealand orders, including my stops if something happens. Now, these are pending orders. What that means is you're done. You can walk away from your charts. You can go do whatever you'd like to do. Now, here's a really cool feature about this tool is, let me bring it back up. You can use it to trade this current smart fib, or it'll actually draw the next smart fib and set those same levels for your next entry as well. Guys, this is the next wave of trading. You're doing manual technical analysis, but you're utilizing it with automation in your trading. It's like a hybrid. It's like Tesla's autopilot, right? You get out onto the highway, you set the button, and now you're free to do whatever it is you want to do. You can walk away from your charts. Think about that. How many people would find use in a tool like this? Give me a Y or yes if you would. Hey, Lucas, what I want you to do, I know you have to be at work in 10 minutes. Type in your number and your email. We'll reach out to you after the presentation to let you know how to do it. All right? If this is something that you guys want to have, I want you to stick with me because I'm going to give you all an opportunity here today to get access to this. Now, we're coming up on the end of our presentation. I want to let you know, guys, look, you all know already that SmartTrader can take your analysis to the next level. All right? It helps you make those better, faster, smarter trading decisions than you have seen already. Now, what I have for those of you guys in here today is I have some of my users in here that are basic users. You guys have just access to the basic platform. You can't link your account. As a matter of fact, you can't do any of the things that you see on your screen right now. You can't connect those 6 accounts. You can't create unlimited workspaces. You don't have unlimited alerts. You can't do the trading ideas. You can't do the smart trading tools. But I want to get that into your hands today. So what I asked for was a very special way for you to take advantage of it today. So everybody in here that's one of my basic users that are not elite right now, what you can do is get access to the elite level charting through this special link, smarttrader.com plans, but give me 1 second here. I actually have another link that I will send everybody out here right now via the chat. So let me chat this to everybody. If you do not have the elite and you're interested in a special bonus, what I want you to do is use that link that I just sent you, or type in your phone number, and I want you to type in need elite. Okay? That will let me know that when we give you guys a call that you're interested in the elite program to get access to the elite version of SmartTrader and that tool. Now, there are those of you out there that already are elite, right? If you already are elite users and you have access to it, then I want you guys to commit to your commitment. All right? What I want you to do is I created a very special program for you guys. And this goes for everybody in here if you decide to do it. Normally, you just saw that the elite level charts cost $59.95 per month. And over a 2-year span, that's going to be about $1,439. Think of that. Over the next 2 years, you have to give away $1,439 of your profit just to trade, right? It's like paying for gasoline in a car. You have to do it. Well, we created a program where you can have 2 years of the SmartTrader Elite package as well as the Power Fib trading tool that I showed you that is normally valued at $1,000, not for the $24.39 that you've seen, but I'm actually dropping the price. And today you're going to get the Power Fib trading tool at absolutely no cost when you purchase 2 years of SmartTrader Elite for $9.95. All I want you to do, if you're interested in taking advantage of this opportunity, is type in that phone number, right? Type in that phone number. Hugo, I'm looking for your phone number. Don, they are already programmed in there. Thanks for that question. I'll get back to that. Right now, for those individuals that are interested in saving over $1,400 today, all I want you to do is I want you to type in that phone number and let's get access to the Power Fib trading tool as well as the SmartTrader for the next 2 years for a $9.95 price point. If you're interested in, if you're saying to yourself, you know what, look, James, I think I have SmartTrader for the next year, or you don't know when your expiration is, type in your phone number. We'll check your expiration date and we'll put together a package that is best for you. Verena, thank you for your phone number. I see that you think you may have Elite. Chelsea, thank you for your phone number. Mutawi, thank for you. Olu, I want you to type in that phone number. I think I know what may have happened with yourself. I'm going to say, Mr. Patini, thank you for typing in your phone number as well. Shiv, type in that phone number if you're interested in that Power Fib trading tool. If you have Elite and you're interested in that Power Fib tool, type in that phone number and let's get you access into that. Now, I'm going to bring it back to the charts just for a second here. I can't remember who it was. Don said, hey, what about the 10 candlesticks formations? Perfect, Don. I'm going to clear this screen. I'm going to drop this down, and I'm going to show you something, Don. What we have, the candlestick formations are here. So you have your bearish engulfing. They're going to be highlighted bright red. You have your bullish engulfing. They're going to be highlighted bright green. You have your evening stars, your morning stars. We have predictive candles as well that'll help you predict where the market is going if you have access to that tool. And then you have your tweezer tops and tweezer bottoms that this will show. So you just have to look. My candlesticks are red and green. That's why. But back to this, guys. I want to give everybody kind of a last chance opportunity to get started with this today. If you're interested in the Fib tool and or extending your charting for the next 1 to 2 years, all I want you to do is type in that phone number. I'm not asking you to commit to purchasing this. All I'm asking for is a conversation. Let's check what you need to be successful. Let's see if this tool is right for you. Let's see if there's anything else that we can do for you. Now, guys, I want to wrap this up. If you guys have any other questions, last chance on questions, continue to type in those phone numbers. Let's see. Glenn, type in your here, Glenn. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you my email. And that way you can email me, and then we'll get that fixed for you. Perfect. Not a problem, Chris. We will reach out to you. Olu, yes, we will send you the recorded version. Definitely stay by your phone. Lloyd, thank you as well for typing in that phone number. We will reach out to you. Now, guys, thank you all so much. If you ever need to get directly in touch with us, the number you see here on your screen is 866-279-2793. You press extension 1 for tech support or extension 2 for us, and we will definitely, me and Brian Cobb, who's sitting right next to me, will definitely be more than happy to speak with you. You guys have a great day. Thank you all. Carol, can you type in your phone number? That's a great question. We would love to help your friend there for that. Not a problem, Carol. I'd like to speak with you personally after the presentation, so that way we can help you. All right? And here is, so type in that phone number, Carol, so I can have a good number to reach you at. But thank you again to everybody that was in this presentation with me. I hope you all have a great day. And it has been my plum pleasure presenting in front of you here today. Thank you. Have a great day.